To see it, if you can just take a picture.
Okay, so no sign of it as much yet, no? And anything, any advisory?
Can we move that way?
But in between Central Southern
Well,
Scotland,
guys, if it's not then in 30,
into parts of Yorkshire, Lincolnshire later on, so heavier quantities of rain.
It's alright, they're going to...
Flash a bit.
No.
You could get to 22 Celsius and about another 22 in the southeast.
is that it then, Jeff, is that it?
It is.
Well,
It's the bottom right, which is just black. Yeah, that's it.
Hi guys, you okay?
Hi.
Good.
Northern Ireland, Northern England as well, susceptible to
Ted.
some heavy rain and a risk of flooding.
So basically, we'll do the heads, and then take a
That's
call, and
fine.
if that presser comes up,
Sometimes I don't want to clue what's going on. No, sure,
If
sure.
not, we'll just carry on.
Gradually ease. There'll be some heavy showers for England and Wales in particular.
And
but those showers
lead
will
intros to
lighter,
which
fewer
camera?
in between on Friday. A bit more with a sunshine. Bye.
Good, we get it then. Right.
Counting down the hill.
Funny, bye. Today at 5, the first athletes arrive as the Olympic security row intensifies. G4S is accused in effect of having misled ministers about its staffing plans. As thousands of competitors start to arrive for the Games, politicians are blaming each other for the security problems.
After the G4S shambles, we now need things back.
Britain's economic prospects are downgraded by the IMF, with next to no growth predicted for this year. 3 children found dead in a wood in Shropshire. Their father's body has been found nearby. In Syria, the fighting gets ever closer to the heart of Damascus amid talk of civil war. 53 million and rising. The population in England, Wales and Northern Ireland shows its strongest growth since records began. It's 5 o'clock, very good evening. Our main story is that police officers from 9 forces are being drafted in to help with security at Olympic venues following the failure of G4S to supply enough staff. But that company insists that police support will only be needed for a few days until security staff are fully assigned.
After G4S admitted it couldn't vet and train enough staff in time.
Thanks,
The
guys.
shortfall emerged last week. This afternoon in the House of Commons, the Home Secretary
yeah,
was dismissing
are we
suggestions
introing them on
that
boxes?
knew about this months ago.
G4S assured Locog and the government continuously that they would be able to deliver
I would,
their contractual
if you
obligations.
can do that.
But on Wednesday the 11th of July, following difficulties with scheduling, which the company has acknowledged, G4S notified Locog and the government that they would not be able to provide the
So
numbers
will I
of
do that to
security
3 through
personnel
boxes then?
specified in their
Fine.
contract. I want to be clear that this was the first time that G4S admitted to anyone.
I'll say in a
that they would
moment
not
we'll be at
able to
Westminster.
deliver the
First,
numbers
Nick
of
Raymond
security
stopped in
personnel
Manchester, yeah.
that they had promised.
Everyone wants to gain the opposition, unwilling to accept the government's version.
Fine, and after that we are...
It is
There's still nothing from that
but
presser
monitoring was that poor, so helping
about
to
the
bridge
dreadful
security
discovery
gap.
of those bodies today.
Greater Manchester
And that was
Police
meant to happen at 5, okay? But as you can see, nothing's
Forward
happening.
officers
And
to
we're now
provide
told it's
security at
5:30.
Olympic team
So
hotel
that would have
in
affected the
Salford.
top of the programme,
After only
alright?
17
As it is, it
expected
didn't happen, so we'll go back to our
56
original plan,
turned
yeah?
up for work. The expected
So they have to be
cost,
ready to change all the time.
£30,000 a day. The latest development has provoked anger.
It's not turning for work and now they can consulted. And those who presided on what got people this time for disgrace to hang their head in
Stand
shame.
by.
In just over a week, crowds of spectators will swarm across the Olympic venues. It's hoped any questions over the security will be ironed out by then. Katie Rowett, BBC News.
So, some things to discuss, not least the political debate, and for that we'll be at Westminster with our correspondent Chris Mason in just a few minutes. But before that, the events today in Manchester, and we're going to talk to Nick Ravenscroft, our correspondent there. Nick, just bring us right up to date on what's happened there with bringing police in to help out and the kinds of thing that the security firm has been saying there.
Huw, let me just reiterate this. This is symptomatic of many forces around the country which have had this kind of problem in the last 2 days. Let me tell you what happened. The police arrived here on double pay. Now, the teams which are going to be staying at this hotel, they're not in place yet. If they were staying here, rather than those football teams from less sensitive countries.
Well, indeed, Nick, thanks very much for bringing us up to date. We'll go straight to Westminster. And Chris, we'll pick up there, having heard the exchanges a short while ago. What do you make of the kind of political debate that we've seen today?
It's quite striking to hearing
Athletes and officials have been arriving at the Olympic Village in East London with, as I said, just 11 days to go until we try to look ahead to see what's coming up.
Impression was positive.
And trying to make sure that I'm getting the right questions into people in a limited time. Because we've got potentially this news conference and a couple of other live events.
Helping to
The latest from the Olympic Park for us. Now, the Prime Minister has given details of what he called the biggest rail investment programme since Victorian times. He announced that £9 billion would be spent in England and Wales between 2014 and 2019, which should lead to faster and more reliable services. There are fears that fares will have to keep rising to pay for all of that. Our transport correspondent Richard Westcott has the details.
The scale is ambitious. New electric lines will mean faster trains
Yes,
and more
just joining
service
us now.
across England and Wales.
Yes, just joining us now.
Stations will be upgraded, track replaced. In all, nearly £9.5 billion, £5 billion on schemes that are already underway, and £4 billion on new schemes.
It's a huge investment. It's really the most serious investment going into our railways. It's the journey time.
Much of the cash will go on electrifying lines.
Is that to 1 or 3?
There's money for various projects around northern cities, including Manchester, Leeds and York, and the main line running up the spine of England.
Our concern is that passengers will be priced off the railways. There will be all these gleaming new electric trains, which will be great, but people won't be able to afford to travel on them because the government will have insisted on putting
In the coalition, ministers want to prove they agree on something. Richard Westcott, BBC News, St Pancras.
Well, now let's have a look at the headlines. It's 16 minutes past 5. Home Secretary Theresa May has told MPs that the security company G4S has failed to meet its contractual obligations. Police in Manchester today have had to step in after some security staff failed to show up for work there. Athletes and officials have started to arrive in London for the Games. The first of these special road lanes has come into operation along the M4 motorway. Also today, the International Monetary Fund has downgraded its latest forecast for economic growth in the UK this year.
Stage 15 on the Tour de France. To cheer the home crowd, Britain's Bradley Wiggins is still in possession of the yellow jersey. Should golf be worried about the Open? Tiger Woods thinks.
Thank you very much. Now, the population of England and Wales has grown faster in the past decade than for any other period since records began. Figures released today by the Office for National Statistics, the results in effect of last year's census we're talking about, show that are not just interesting figures, though they are very interesting, because of course they should be translating into areas of policy for the government. They've got very big implications, for example, for social care and other areas of policy. So the results of the census in that way are not just matters of statistical interest.
Oh, absolutely. Also, even England, so people planning
The decade event. Are you already planning for the next one in 9 years' time? Is that already underway?
Well, the planning for this one started back in
This is the latest running of this news scripts coming out. Somebody has just written something new. So
okay, just stand here for a second. Double quick. Yeah. So you can see what I've got here. I've got my running order and all the wires that come up on here for me to tell me what's happening here. There's no second presenter at the moment. And then as you can see, there's autocue on all the cameras. But the thing about the news channel is, lots of the introductions to stories are on autocue, which is fine. But if you're interviewing, or if you're talking over pictures that are live, you're going to have to sort of do your own bit. So, very important that you've done your homework out on the news desk before you come in. Or else you can find yourself in a sticky situation. Yeah, which sometimes you do, okay, because some things happen, sometimes things happen and you can't prepare for them. And then, as you can see, what we put up on the screen up there is
the kind of things that I can be expecting to come up quite soon. So there's a guest sitting in there in Westminster now. That's the top left is still that news conference that hasn't come up. This is what's going out on air at the moment, as you can see.
Yes, I do.
That's, I'm not quite sure what that is. That bottom right, it's the murder scene. Whether that's a live shot or whether it's just a still, I'm not quite sure. Okay? Then business and sport, either with me here or they'll do a bulletin over there. The weather guy will do the weather screen to that screen at the back. And tonight for the 10 o'clock news,
30 seconds, guys.
that's slightly different to this. Headlines from over there, standing up. Good evening, standing
Got to
up.
clear the set.
And then me here. Okay, guys?
Thank you. Thank you.
Well done.
The Syrian government
About 15 seconds.
armed rebels who should be blamed for violence.